What's up, Titan fans? How we doing? Welcome to a Week 12 episode from the What's Up, Titans fans pod, where we're going to go over some raw thoughts right before the game and also do some weekly picks for the games that are taking place today and the Monday Night Football games, of course. So let's go ahead and insert the plug real quick while we're waiting for people to dive into the channel, all right? If you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, and X, make sure to follow me on all three platforms. The handle's the same no matter where you go. It's the What's Up Titans Fans pod, where I put out videos all throughout the week. I'm talking Monday through Friday. I do pregame videos, postgame videos, raw thought videos, everything for you, coming at you in live format. Also those YouTube shorts, 60 seconds or less, for that content quick, fast, and in a hurry. So let's go ahead and dive into things. And if you're already here watching, don't forget to smash that like button and leave some comments down below. It helps the channel out and it gets people in here talking, right? This channel is all about having a conversation with each and every one of you. So let's go ahead and get started. So the Tennessee Titans, we get to verse the Houston Texans today in about a half hour. And if we go ahead and look at the game, we'll look at them first to see how it's looking. But yes, they are 7-4 and we are 2-8. And this is a game we basically have to lose, right? I know as a Tennessee Titans fans, we want to win every single game. We want that dub. We don't want to go out there wanting to lose, but we have to lose. We've worked too hard to get to where we are, to be one of the bottom top 5 teams with only 2 wins on the season. We're trying to get that top draft pick to help us out in the future. Yes, we might get a veteran quarterback in the offseason. It is possible. There's going to be a few names out there, right? We're already hearing things about Aaron Rodgers. We're hearing things about other QBs that'll be out there. I know the Tannehill's available, but they had all off season to go get them this year, to re-sign them or to bring them back during the season. There's quarterbacks out there, but if we get a young guy, you got Shador Sanders, you got Quinn Ewers, you got all of them. We only got a 28% chance of winning this game anyway, but we need to, secure a quarterback, either a good veteran, not a Mason Rudolph, or draft another young one in the draft. But however we go, we can't let Will Levis be the man going in the next season. That is unacceptable, right? We can't have Will Levis. I know so far the last couple weeks he's had back-to-back weeks where he's looked decent, right? He's looked okay. 2 weeks ago, he ended up having 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in a game. He looked okay. Last week, he did throw 1 interception toward the end of the game, trying to make a play, which you can never fault a guy for trying to make a play. But this week, we're versing the Houston Texans, who started out hot, right? They had CJ Stroud is what you were looking for, as a prospect quarterback, right? You're looking for this young guy to come in, make good plays, be a leader. I know right now he has 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the season, but he's still a good QB, even though he's had the last few weeks haven't been the best for the Houston Texans. I think they started out 5-0, and then it just kind of, drizzled off a little bit as the season progressed on, because teams are finally starting to figure him out a little bit. I know injuries rack up and everything like that, but hey, they're slowing down. But look, let's go ahead and look at some of the other games around the league. Let's give some picks real quick for the other games that are taking place, especially these important picks where it's these teams with 2 wins, because we need these teams to get some dubs. That way we can move up in the NFL draft to get the best player available. So right off the bat at the top, we're talking the Minnesota Vikings versus the Bears, the Chicago Bears. And look, I know Sam Darnold isn't a franchise quarterback, but this is his year. He's looking good. He came out there and showed us up, right? And then you're going against Caleb Williams and company. I don't believe in Caleb Williams at all. Overrated coming out of college. Old painted nails, right? They're sitting at 4-6. I think the Vikings take this one away easy. The Sam Darnold, he's 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on the year. It's gonna be easy for Sam Darnold and company. You've seen Jefferson over there, Addison. They're 2 stacked around the board. And look, we'll see what ESPN picked for it. But yeah, they got the Vikings winning. They gave them a 57% chance of winning this game compared to the Bears at 42%. Sam Darnold right here, look at his stats: 19 tutties, 10 interceptions. Caleb Williams, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Let's see about the next game real quick. The Lions, chat. You know the Lions. They're gonna have the Lions win, and I'm picking the Lions. The Colts, they're a bad team. You know, Anthony Richardson is overrated. He really is one of the worst QBs coming out of college. That somehow skyrocketed in the draft. No one can believe it. This man, you know, he came to the combine. He could run fast, jump high. His draft stock dramatically increased. They picked him at the top of the draft, and what a disaster. They've done best whenever he's been off the field, right? It's been Joe Flacco, the Joe Flacco show, chat. That's what it's been. Let me lower this a little bit. All right, let's see who ESPN has for them for the win. ESPN is giving the Lions a 73% chance of winning this game. The Colts only 26, chat. Then Jared Goff, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the season. Come on, that's insane, chat. And then Anthony Richardson, of course, dude. He's one of the few quarterbacks in the league that is worse than Will Levis. 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Been a disaster. Last I saw, his completion rate was down at like 40%, 44% or something like that. But let's see what it's up now. Oh, he's brought it up a little bit. It's 48%, chat. That's where it's at for Anthony Richardson. Insanely bad QB. Maybe he'll get better with time, but right now he's definitely not ready for the NFL. I mean, he was barely ready for college, chat. That's where it was. The next game on the list, we're talking the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Look, if the Dolphins and Tua come out to play, you know, they can get it. But hey, for this game, though, I'm going to pick the Patriots. I know they're a bad team, but Drake May, he's on the turnaround. We'll get to see what he's got. I don't believe in the Dolphins. I mean, they should have done something by now if they were going to do something, right? I know Tua's been hurt, but I mean, you look at their weapons everywhere with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Nah, I got to go Patriots right here. But let's see what ESPN got. You know, they're picking the Dolphins. Dolphins, 67%. Compared to the 32. I think Drake May, he's coming out. Look at them. 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's coming around. Each game he's getting better. Yes, you know, for rushing, their running backs are about the same. Stevenson got a little bit more touchdowns for the year. But I'm thinking the Patriots are going to win that game, chat. It's got to be. Then right here, the Bucks and the Giants. Look, I'm a Baker fan. I love Baker Mayfield. 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the year. But something about Tommy DeVito, baby. Something about him. I believe in him. I know they're 2-8, but look, you get a new quarterback at the helm. Hey, it brings that motivation. I've seen it time and time again. There's a benching happen. Backup comes in. Teams haven't scouted them. You know, they're not prepared for him. Tommy DeVito, baby. Hey, Frosty's in the building. We're playing the Panthers. If we lose, I have lost the hope. Hey, the Chiefs only got 1 L on the season. It's highly unlikely that y'all are gonna lose to the Panthers. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. You know, it's a couple games coming up on the list right now, but there's no way the Chiefs are losing to the Panthers. Horrible team, horrible organization. But they got the Bucks, Giants. I'm gonna pick the Giants. That's gonna be an upset. I think Tommy DeVito, baby, he's gonna come in and he's gonna do some things. But let's see where ESPN has it right now. Right, ESPN is believing heavy in those Bucks, 69%. Like I said, I love Baker. I mean, he's having an outstanding season. 24 tutties, 9 interceptions. What a comeback, you know, from his days whenever he was floating through the league a little bit, right? When he was a Panther, you know, when he went to the Rams and he had a couple good games. But, you know, the Panthers era was a stain in Baker's career. And some points in his Browns career was a stain as well. But I thought he was great as a Brown. The Giants, obviously, they're not playing Daniel Jones. They have him right here listed, but it's going to be Tommy DeVito, baby, you know, all day. The Panthers have 3 wins, right? That's crazy. They have more than I thought. Hey, that's because, you know, they won with Rocket Man one time. I think at the beginning of the season they did win with Bryce Young, and then they won recently. So that's where they are right now. Or the Red Rock. I call him Rocket Man. The Red Rocket, brother. Where are we at now? We're talking about the Cowboys and Commanders. There's no way the Cowboys pulled this one out. I mean, they don't even got Dak Prescott anymore. Jaden Daniels is playing too good. I don't think Cooper Rush has it in them to get this dub. Commanders are too good. Commanders are going to win this game. without a shadow of a doubt, unless something crazy or insane happens. I mean, it's the upsets. Upsets happen in the NFL. It does. But let's go ahead and see how ESPN has this ranked coming into the game, brother. The Washington Redskins sitting at 77% chance to win this game. Cowboys 22. Like I said, look, Dak Prescott, he's on IR. I mean, he wasn't doing that well even before he was injured. He had 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, not looking good. Meanwhile, you got the rookie Jaden Daniels, LSU, brother, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Hey, repping that SEC. SEC is where it's at. Cowboys were so hyped up. They get hyped up every year, Frosty. You ain't lying. The media loves the Cowboys. You see it. I mean, Jerry Jones, he got deep pockets. He pays these sports media outlets to talk about his team. They love it. Something in the 90s happened with the America's team and all this other stuff. So they're always hyped up and they're always disappointed, right? You got to pull out the old VHSs to view good Cowboys film. Even though they do have a stacked roster, right? They have Prescott, who's considered to be pretty good. They have Lamb. They have Parsons and stuff on defense. They have a good roster, but hey, it's not coming together. Where are we at now? Oh, now we're talking about them Chiefs. The Chiefs. And, the Panthers. Chiefs 9-1. Panthers, horrible team, 3-7. They're sitting there. They still got more wins than your Tennessee Titans. But the Chiefs, they're going to blow them out the water. I mean, even though Patrick Mahomes isn't having the best year of his career stat-wise, the team itself is, better all around, than the Panthers. But let's go ahead and see what ESPN has for them. It's going to be insane right here. Yeah, Chiefs, they gave them a 76% chance to beat the Panthers. 76 of their 20. Patrick Mahomes, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. They're showing Andy Dalton on here for their stat leaders, but we all know it's not going to be him. Andy Dalton isn't playing. It's, he has 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But, hey, it's been Bryce Young. And if you look at their last 5 opponents, which I don't think you can see because it's blocked, their last 5 opponents right here, they ended up beating the Giants. The Panthers beat the Giants 20-17 in overtime, and they beat the Saints 23-22. So they are, they are on a 2-game winning streak. The Panthers are on a 2-game winning streak. Bryce Young is back. He's the starter, so we'll see how they do against the Chiefs. It'll be a real testament to the Panthers and Bryce Young in his young career, because Bryce Young, he's on his 2nd year right now, and it's been tough for him. I mean, you're coming from Bama. You're coming from a college organization where all they do is win, win, win. Then you get to the NFL, the big leagues, and what happens? You're put on the worst team, and that's what happened. That's the NFL. The best players go to the worst teams, and it's just been a disaster for him. He said Titans defense is tough, not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, it depends. We have our ups and we have our downs. We do give up not a lot of yards, but, man, we are horrible when it comes to turnovers. We are dead last in the league. Our turnover game for defense is absolutely despicable. So now, look, here it is right here. Titans, Texans, we're going to lose to them. We touched on it briefly, but we're going to lose. The C.J. Stroud, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Obviously we're going to have Will Levis playing 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He had a good pass. Last 2 games were pretty decent for him. We only had 1 interception in 2 games, which is outstanding for Will Levis. But they give them a 71% chance, to beat us, the Texans. So, but, we have some injuries, so do they, but I mean, some of these injuries we've been having for a long time with our top 2 cornerbacks being injured for the last 4 or 5 weeks. We haven't seen them, maybe even longer. It seems like Snead's only played in a few games along with Awuzie. We haven't seen our top 2 cornerbacks all seasons. So the Texans are Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion. I thought they were at the beginning of the season. I mean, they started 5-0, but they've had quite a slip-off. It's been tough. If you look at the Texans' last 5 games, which I know it's a little hard to see over here, but their last 5 games. So they versed Dallas. They did beat them 34-10, but they lost to Detroit, which is a tough team. Everyone's going to lose to Detroit, but they lost 26-23. They lost to the Jets, which, come on, you should beat the Jets. I mean, I know we lost to the Jets, but we're a horrible team. But they lost 21-13 to the Jets. Then they beat Indianapolis, right? But like I said, they have They have Richardson and stuff. He's horrible, but they beat them 23-20, and then they lost to Green Bay 24-22. So in the last 3 weeks, last 5 weeks, they are 2-3 right now, the Texans. So it's gonna, we'll see how it is. They're not on that high horse they were at the beginning of the season when they started out like 5-0. So they are kind of on a downslope right now. Let's see. After that, we're talking about the Broncos and Raiders. The Broncos, they're 6-5. Raiders are 2-3. I know the Raiders are struggling at QB and everything like that, but man, you gotta love their tight end Brock Bowers. He's a guy I wish we would have got in the draft. I was a Brock Bowers fanboy. I was hoping we were gonna get him because we need a tight end in Tennessee. And unfortunately, look where we're at. Meanwhile, Brock Bowers, 70 receptions, 5 yards, 3 tutties. That is insane right there. But yeah, the Broncos are going to come away with this game. I mean, you just look at the difference. Let's see what ESPN says real quick. Oh, they say it's pretty even. 55% Broncos, 43% Raiders. But hey, I like Gardner Minshew mania. Hey, I was a fan of him in Jacksonville, even though he is a rival. He said Giants is a tough loss. Hey, Giants though, man, they got Tommy DeVito, baby. He's coming in this week. So, we'll see. Giants might be able to turn it around this week. No more Danny Dimes. They done benched him, right? But Bo Nix, he's another surprise rookie, right? He spent like 10 years in college, it seemed like. But yeah, he has 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the year. He's basically an NFL veteran already, and he's just a rookie because he's so old, right? Then Gardner Minshew, he has 8 tutties, 9 interceptions on the season. And if you look at the last 5 games for each team, the Broncos, they're 2-3 in their last 5, right? I mean, they're 3-2, 3-2 in their last 5. Meanwhile, the Raiders are 0-5 in their last 5 games. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for the Raiders to turn it around. Sometimes it's hard to get out of that losing streak, right? You're stuck in a rut. It's hard to get out. So we'll see. That's a 4 p.m. game, though. That's later in the afternoon. After that, we're talking the 49ers and Packers, chat. That's what we're talking about right here. 49ers, Packers. I mean, look, I know the Packers got a better record, right? But I think I'm still leaning more toward Niners for this game. Still leaning more toward Niners. I think I'm still a believer in them. They have a tough schedule, right? But let's go ahead and look. He said, let's see. Frost said D-Hop has only played 2 games for us, and he has 17 receptions and almost 300 yards. That is wild. That is wild. Oh, actually, never mind, chat. Never mind. Hey, I take back what I said about the Niners. I didn't realize that I was unaware. So Brock Purdy is out this game, right? He's out. He's been ruled out. I did not know he was out of this game. So, yeah, it is going to be the Packers. I go with ESPN, right? 69.3% Packers over the 49ers. Did not know Brock Purdy was out. So, hey, we'll go ahead and give it to Jordan Love for this game. He has 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But if you look at the last 5 games, the 49ers, right, they are 3-2 in their last 5 games, with their last loss coming to the Seattle Seahawks 20-17. They did lose to the Chiefs in their last 5, 28-18. But in their 3 wins, I mean, they were pretty good wins, right? They beat Tampa Bay, which is they're a decent team. Baker's doing well. They beat them 23-20. They beat Dallas, which is, hey, it's Dallas. They should have beat Dallas 30-24. But then they did beat Seattle, which is a division rival. So they split the division rival with Seattle. He said, I really hope D-Hop doesn't just retire next year. Yeah, D-Hop, I mean, when he was with us, he was saying he still feels good, still wants to play. He said as long as he's still putting up 1,000 yards a year, he don't plan on retiring. I'm not sure where he's at right now. I mean, he has 300 yards for y'all in those, 2 games. He might have had 300 yards total for us for the entire year because, we don't really throw the ball like that. But the Packers in their last 4, they are 4 of 5 on their last 5 games played, only losing to the Lions. So, yeah, it'll be the Packers. Yeah, I messed up on that at the start of it. Did not know Brock Purdy was out. That's good to know. After that, we only got 2 more games. We got the Cardinals and Seahawks. Cardinals have been on a roll, right? Even though Call of Duty's out, you think Kyler Murray isn't going to play well. It's, Oh, you said Dolphins or Patriots? Oh yeah, I went over that one earlier. I think Tommy DeVito's gonna come out on fire, brother. He's gonna come out. I know Tua's back, but I mean, even with Tua back, the Dolphins haven't been outstanding. I think they got weapons on their offense, right? But it seems like I don't know if it's their play calling or what. But I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle. It's just not working for the Dolphins right now. And I know the Patriots they're a disaster too, but also I want the Patriots to win because they're fighting for that bottom draft pick with us, right? But the Patriots, they did a quarterback change. Tommy DeVito, last time he came in, he was pretty good for him. He came in hot last time. He did fizzle out, and then they ended up benching him. He said, it isn't working for him. Yep. And then, so we got the Cardinals. They gave them a 54% chance to win over their 44. Kyler Murray, 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Only 3 interceptions for Kyler Murray this season. Meanwhile, you got Geno Smith on the other side. That's splitting even, chat. 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And in the last 5, Cardinals, they are 4-5 in their last 5 games played, while the Seahawks are only 2-3. I think Seahawks are good too. Yeah, I mean, they're up and down. I mean, if you look at their last 5 games played, they're 2-3 in their last 5. Even though one of them was an overtime loss, you get that OTL. So it really could have flipped anyway. A lot of times these overtime games come down to who gets the ball first. You know that whole thing going on. But Geno Smith's just having a tough season when you're looking at his stats. 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's almost on par. With Will Levis. I mean, Will Levis has 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's sitting dead even too, So it's tough when quarterbacks turn over the ball just as much as they score touchdowns. It's tough for a team to overcome that. Then we're talking about the Eagles and Rams. I mean, I think the Eagles all day, I mean, their roster's too good. You look at their roster, it's like, how can they lose? How can the Eagles lose? I know they have a couple losses on the season. I mean, they give the Eagles at 59%. I think it should be higher than that. But, hey, 59%. They said Metcalf has been having a breakout season. Oh, yeah, so, yeah. I mean, Metcalf's he's a good wide receiver. He was over at Ole Miss with A.J. Brown. They were both good receivers coming out of college in the NFL. They've both been pretty good. Obviously, I think A.J. Brown's been better, but I know Metcalf, he's having an outstanding season. But if you look at A.J. Brown, I mean, he's still doing pretty good. Jalen Hurts, he has 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions compared to Stafford's 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. If you look at the last 5 games, I mean, they're both doing good in their last 5. Eagles, they are 5 wins in their last 5 games. Meanwhile, the Rams have 4 wins in their last 5 games. So they're right there. They only lost to the Dolphins a couple weeks ago, which we did speak about earlier. But they lost 23-15 to the Dolphins. But other than that, they beat everybody else. A.J. Brown just decided to break out when he left the Titans. Now, he actually did well for us. I mean, that's why we got a first-round pick for him when we traded him. I mean, granted, I know he's done even better with the Eagles, but that's because they're a passing team. But for us, he was still unstoppable. He was like our number 1 weapon, minus Derrick Henry, but was our number 1 receiver. Oh, man, we got some spam in the chat. All game streaming on. Okay, we got some spam in there, chat. Can't get rid of that. Okay. Let's see. After that, we're talking Monday Night Football, the last game for the week. Oh, we did see that Thursday night game. If you saw that game, what an amazing game. We got to see Winston out there in the snow. He had fun. You saw snow angels. Can we delete the spam? Yeah, I think we can somehow. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I can remove it. Look, watch this. We'll go. And let's see. Oh, man, I think I got to do it one at a time, chat. That's whack. They spam the chat, and then you can only remove it one at a time. Oh, no, you can report it, too. Unwanted content or spam. Hide user on my channel. Let's go. I think we did it, chat. Okay. There you go. Thanks. Yeah. Hey. We're figuring it out as we go, chat. That was our first time getting a spam thing in here. They don't ever come. It must be doing something good if we got spam coming in the chat now, right? So, hey, Monday Night Football, we got the Ravens and the Chargers. And if you know me on this channel, I'll say it over and over again. I hate the Ravens, so I hope the Ravens lose. I'm going to pick the Chargers. They both have 7 wins on the season, but I'm picking the Chargers for this game because I got to pick against the Ravens every time. I don't care who they're playing. I'm picking against them. It's tradition, right? But let's go ahead and see what ESPN says about it. ESPN gives the nod over to the Ravens. They give them a 59% chance of winning, which is insane. But look at each quarterback right here. Right here. That is insane quarterback stats. 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for Lamar. Then you move over to Justin Herbert. 13 touchdowns and only 1 interception on the season. Imagine, just take a second to imagine if the Tennessee Titans had a quarterback like that could have 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. I know they run the ball more, and this is less on Herbert now because they got the Harbaugh there. They're sitting there doing more running the ball and letting Herbert just not put the game on his shoulders consistently. But man, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. And I don't know about Patrick Mahomes has 11 interceptions. Yeah, he does. This is a bad year statistically for Patrick Mahomes, but the team's doing good. So, hey, I mean, they only got 1 loss on the season, even though Patrick Mahomes isn't having, the best year statistically. But Lamar Jackson, look at those stats, brother. That's insane. Same thing with Herbert. That's whack and wild. Whack for Jackson, wild for Herbert. But the last 5 games, hey, the Ravens are 3-2 in the last 5 games. They did lose to Pittsburgh, right? Them Steel Boys, baby. And they lost to the Browns. So they lost to 2 division rivals in the last 5 weeks. Meanwhile, the Chargers, right? We just played them. Chargers are 4-1 in the last 5 games. They did beat us 27-17, but their 1 loss was to Arizona. Let's see, Frosty again. He said D-Hop had a one-handed catch last game. That was cool. Oh, yeah. He got those crazy custom-made gloves because his hands are so big. I think they're like an XXXXL or something like that. They're huge. He has unrealistic hands, right? Just swallow your face if he puts them on it. So, yeah, he can definitely hold onto the ball one-handed. Then he can do things that we can't do because, his hands are so huge. But, Chad, that about does it for today's episode. I'm going to go ahead and call it there because the games kick off in just a few minutes. I'm going to start watching the game. But whenever halftime comes around, I'll probably be back for a halftime report whenever that is to see how the Tennessee Titans are doing. And we got Spam back in the chat. Look, they're coming left and right now. So we're doing something good over here when you got the spam coming in, trying to get people in. So, yeah, go ahead and don't forget to leave your comments down below about your team and your predictions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.